Hey there, welcome back to the Teachers AI Cafe. I'm Kane. Well, I've got my coffee ready. Hopefully you got yours. And if you're in person, I'd love you to pull up a chair with me and sit down and see what we can go through and learn about AI today to make our life that little bit easier. As we know, teaching can be like juggling on a unicycle. I definitely can't do it. So your year nines come in bouncing off energy drinks. No, they're not supposed to have them. The photocopier breaks 10 minutes before class. Yep, getting a lot of that lately. And then leadership emails you about some shiny new assessment policy. And you're trying to juggle all these different things. Our instinct is to survive, right? But no, we don't really want to survive. We actually want to put out fires and move on, don't we? But today I want to share you with a framework that helps us do a little bit more than survive, but it'll actually help us reframe some of these challenges and maybe find some opportunities hidden inside them. So it's not quite an explicit type prompt. It's one where you can get more of a response than a straight answer to a specific question. It's called the SPARK framework, spelled S-P-A-R-K, as in the word spark. It might change how you handle those sort of everyday classroom issues and staff room problems that you may come across. So what is SPARK? We'll break it down. S is for situation, what's happening right now. P is for problem, what's the sticking point, what's really annoying you at the moment. A is for aspiration, what do you actually want to happen instead? And this is where this prompt comes in a bit differently. R is a result. What would success look like for you? And the last one is a new word I've learned. It's called kismet. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I had to go Google, look at the definition of that. And kismet is when you encounter something by chance that seems like it was always meant to be. Hence serendipity. Now, it's a pretty simple but powerful prompt. Like a lot of the prompts we do get a lot of responses for even simple prompts. It works brilliantly for teachers because our days obviously are full of problems. They need quick thinking and ideally a long-term perspective or solution to actually come out of it. So we're going to go through a few different examples of how we could actually use this particular prompt. First one example is one I've come across is my Year 10, say a source analysis task. So it's a Year 10 class who refuses to engage with source analysis, or maybe more likely just a few students within that. Now, the problem is it's not laziness, it's a lack of confidence. They just don't know how to start. No one's ever taught them. Our aspiration is to build their independence so they can tackle sources. Next one is aspiration. What do we want to achieve? We actually want to just build their independence so they can tackle source analysis without us having to step it through them each time. And therefore, when they come to assessments, they can do it. The result, we want students annotating, discussing, and making historical judgments of their own. Kismet. Well, later, we want to maybe see their essay writing improve because they gain some critical thinking skills. Like I said, kismet is something that appears outside your initial problem. What could an AI prompt like this look like? So act as a history teacher, creating a scaffold for Year 10 students who lack confidence with source analysis. Provide a 4-step guide how they can follow any primary source, plus simple worked examples using a World War I poster or World War II poster, Year 10s here in WA. So a likely response would be a step-by-step framework, so identify type, purpose, audience, look for bias, connect to context, and a short model analysis of World War I poster that will show each of the steps so the students can work off it. So, in this outcome, well, you've saved some prep time. Hopefully the students then get a repeatable process, and then instead of saying, I don't get it moments, we can reduce those, and they can refer back to this process, and it builds some confidence and some independence in this source analysis task. Let's look at the next example. Just say you're leading a cross-curricular project, and that takes a lot more organisation. So the situation, you're coordinating a cross-curricular project, teachers are keen, but everyone's drowning in workload. The problem, collaboration stalls because people have different priorities in their different learning areas, and also their different teaching loads. Aspiration, a realistic project where each subject contributes something authentic. The result, a finished exhibition night with genuine and student work is what we're actually aiming for at the end. The kismet, teachers discovered shared interests and maybe a parent volunteer can even jump in to help at some point. Well, what I liked from it personally was the fact that the project is successful and provides a good model that you can repeat year after year. A prompt you could use, for example. I'm leading a cross-curricular project with science, English and history teachers. Everyone is overwhelmed. Suggest a project plan where each subject contributes one simple, authentic activity that can be combined into a single exhibition night. Keep it realistic for busy teachers. And the response might be an outline science, you can do renewable energy models. English, do persuasive speeches. History could look at an innovation timeline, bringing the different skills of the different learning areas together. And a timeline and a structure for the exhibition can also be created. So teachers now have a timeline and goals to actually work through, giving us a bit of structure. So the expected outcome, you can walk into the next meeting with a clear, a doable plan that you can then sit down and negotiate with the other teachers, hopefully build some momentum. Your colleagues are going to breathe easier because someone's given them some structure to work with. And you can earn some credibility as someone who makes things happen, which always looks good with your colleagues. Another example, let's talk about safe behaviour in a Year 11 class. We all know Year 11s, that transition from Year 10 into Year 11. Some take longer than others to realise they're in upper school now, and they should be a bit more mature. The situation, your Year 11 class feels like a daily battle because they're not engaged. The problem, the real issue isn't behaviour, it's really a disconnection. Aspiration, build respect and relevance into your lesson, and hopefully you'll get that higher engagement, less of a disconnect. As a result, the students will engage more, hopefully work more towards the goals that you're setting with them in class, and stop treating the lesson as something they have to be there and something they actually want to be in, particularly with upper school subjects because they can choose their own. Because those difficult students become your most passionate debaters in your class. Often difficult students have really strong opinions and it's great to harness them. So the AI prompt you could use is act as a behaviour management coach. Have a Year 11 class where students resist lessons. The problem is disconnection, not discipline. Suggest 3 classroom activities to build connection and relevance while still covering curriculum content. On this day, we picked the Industrial Revolution. So likely response will come up with some suggested activities. One would be a debate. Was the Industrial Revolution progress or exploitation? Good topic. Do a role play as life as a factory apprentice versus the modern teen. Brainstorm. Link between the Industrial Revolution and modern technology. I like to actually often link the events of World War I with the Industrial Revolution. So what was the outcome? So instead of wasting energy on maybe consequences and trying to work it out in different formats, we can enact these activities to reconnect our students to the subject. Hopefully the stress will go down. We actually build better relationships and the behaviour improves naturally as they start to get engaged with the content that we're actually teaching, as well as the course and the skills. So these are 3 very generic sort of responses, but like I said, it shows you can use it in a different situation. A very specific skill-based one where you're doing a project-based learning, and one where you maybe got a behaviour, which is a non-academic issue for you to actually deal with. And then, so why does Spark matter when we look at this? I guess because it stops us spinning our wheels and working on the wrong problems. What it can do by putting these prompts in there and using a Spark format, it can shift us from reacting from the day-to-day sort of events to actually responding with more of a long-term solution. It also reminds us and often opens us up to different ideas or ways, or the kismet, of teaching something differently to try and change the situation or do different steps that get a different outcome. So when you can combine Spark with your AI prompts, it often will give you scaffolds, plans, activities, ideas that you can use immediately. And that means you're less time stuck. You can actually spend more time teaching. Now, are these all going to be perfect solutions? No, because once again, you've got to adapt it to your particular context. So if you found this helpful, there's 3 quick things you can actually do. Can you subscribe to my podcast? I'm getting more and more listeners every week, which is fantastic. Share it with your colleagues. By subscribing, you don't miss out on a new episode. At the moment, I'm doing them every Wednesday and getting them out. I'd love for you to leave a positive review because it helps other teachers find the show because it increases its ranking. They're more likely to show up in search if they're looking for AI for teachers on their podcast app. And lastly, join the Facebook group. I haven't had too many people joining at the moment, but the great thing with that is I put all the show notes in there and you can actually post questions and we can have discussions and help. Because I know I've always got questions. I know when I work with colleagues, they've always got questions. Often they can be very quick little questions that you can get a response from, either from myself or other members in the Facebook group. And don't forget, that's where I actually put the cheat sheets for each of the episodes, and there'll be a Spark one there very promptly. So if you've got any questions, ideas, or even stories about trying Spark in your classroom, I'd love for you to drop me an email or post in the Facebook group. Remember, you're doing important work. Keep up the good work in your classroom. Keep experimenting. And remember, sometimes all it takes is a bit of spark. These puns are terrible. So thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you in the next episode. Keep up the good work.